Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani. Saya Asri Badrun, anda sedang menyaksikan Didik TV KPM dan hari ini di bawah program khas Didik. Kami bawakan sebuah program iaitu National ICT Security Discourse 2025. Nak tahu program apa pada hari ini kami bawakan? Dan sebenarnya program ini kita adakan satu program di mana para pelajar ataupun murid-murid akan memberikan idea yang cukup bernas berkenaan dengan isu cyber security yang berada di Malaysia. Dan antara isi penting yang kami akan bawakan di mana program ini dianjurkan oleh Cyber Security Malaysia dengan kolaborasi bahagian sumber dan teknologi pendidikan, Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia dan juga sokongan Kementerian Digital. Dan ini merupakan antara program tahunan yang dibawakan oleh Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia sejak tahun 2013 lagi. Dan bagaimana program ini berlangsung, kami ingin mencari idea kreatif dan pemikiran yang cukup kritis daripada murid-murid ataupun peserta berkaitan dengan isu cyber security berlandaskan penggunaan internet dan trend terkini dalam teknologi. Selain itu juga, kita ingin mencari kaedah untuk menyelesaikan cabaran ataupun masalah mahupun risiko dalam jaringan maya untuk menjadi pengguna digital yang bertanggungjawab. Dan untuk maklumat lanjut ataupun nak tahu bagaimana National ICT Security Discourse 2025 ini berlangsung, jom kita saksikan sedikit bingkisan kami bawakan untuk anda. Saksikan.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to warmly welcome you to the National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025. I hereby declare this discourse for this year's Octo Finals officially in session.
And now we are at the stage where every word, every argument, and every answer can make all the difference.
Excellent job, guys. The winning team will proceed to the semi-final round and we'll see you in Pulau Pinang in 2 weeks' time.
So we are actually very surprised and grateful for this unexpected opportunity to go to Penang and compete in NICTSeD 2025.
Well, I would say that it's been no easy task, but it's been an experience of a lifetime.
I think it's been a wonderful opportunity to learn about a variety of topics that the NICTSeD team has provided to us.
For about NICTSeD, I learned more how to pitch better and to present better.
So far, I learned a lot about AI, how AI works in our world, and the current digital landscape as well.
The whole experience was like a roller coaster ride. There was our up and down, but we made it here and we hope to get to the next round, which is grand finals.
And we also hope that other team, for them to do their best. So the journey is important than the destination, that is.
I wish all the best for other participants.
I hope that we can win this competition.
All the best, guys.
Jetsin, and Jetsin.
Tunas, Al-Iqtaufiq Aman Su.
Said Putra, juara gemilang.
SPC reach for the stars. SABS, be the best. Go, 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 TP.
SAB,
Excellent. Putraku hebat.
SDK,
Glorious.
Dan hari inilah penentuannya. Segala idea kreatif dan juga pemikiran yang kritis akan dirumuskan dengan satu keputusan. Siapa yang bakal bergelar juara Mari kita saksikan pada hari ini. Dan setakat kita dah mulakan pertandingan sejak tahun 2013 lagi, di mana segala penyertaan daripada serata Malaysia dibawa sehingga ke tahun ini dan menerima sokongan daripada serata negara. Terima kasih kepada semua sekolah yang turut menyertai, dan akan datang mana tahu kalau ada peluang murid-murid untuk menyertai pertandingan ini, jom sertai kami. Dan untuk saya kongsikan daripada 2013, ada sekolah daripada Kajang, dari Negeri Sembilan, Melaka, Pulau Pinang, Pahang, Selangor dan Pahang. Mereka semua sudah pun melontarkan idea kreatif mereka untuk mendapatkan gelaran juara. Dan sejak tahun 2013 dan pada tahun ini sahaja, pada sejak April lalu, penyertaan yang kami terima adalah dalam 155 penyertaan yang kami terima. Dan hari ini kita akan dengarkan siapa yang bakal bergelar juara pada hari ini. Dan pemenang ataupun kita kategorikan sebagai champion akan membawa pulang wang tunai berjumlah RM5,000 berserta dengan sijil penyertaan dan juga plug. Tempat kedua akan membawa pulang RM3,000, tempat ketiga RM1,500 dan yang membuat persembahan terbaik akan mendapat RM1,000 dan slide terbaik RM500. Dan saya tak nak berceloteh lebih banyak di sini. Kita nak tengok keadaannya di sana yang berada di lokasi di Auditorium BSTP Bukit Kiara, Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia. Kita ada Nisa di lokasi. Saya nak tanya Nisa, bagaimana keadaannya di sana? Nisa, boleh kongsikan dengan kami di sini?
Terima kasih rakan setugas Asri Badrun yang kini berada di studio Didik TV KPM. Assalamualaikum, salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani. Anda bersama saya Nisa K yang kini berlangsungnya acara National ICT Security Discourse 2025. Anda boleh tonton kami secara langsung bukan sahaja di saluran Didik TV KPM, malah di aplikasi ataupun laman web tonton secara percuma. Saya kini berada di Auditorium BSTP Bukit Kiara untuk pentas akhir National ICT Security Discourse 2025 atau singkatannya NICTSeD, yang mana acara ini merupakan pertandingan wacana keselamatan ICT peringkat kebangsaan yang julung kalinya diadakan di Malaysia khusus untuk murid-murid sekolah menengah. Dan program ini dianjurkan oleh Cybersafe Malaysia dengan kerjasama Bahagian Sumber dan Teknologi Pendidikan BSTP, Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia KPM serta disokong oleh Kementerian Digital atau KD. Dan sejak penganjuran NICTSeD ini pada tahun 2013, acara ini telah berjaya mencapai matlamat dengan memperluas pengetahuan dan pemahaman berkaitan keselamatan ICT serta internet, di samping memupuk minat murid-murid dan juga guru untuk menjadi warga negara digital yang beretika dan berdaya tahan. Inisiatif ini seiring dengan Pelan Pembangunan Pendidikan Malaysia 2013 ke 2025, di mana Kementerian Komunikasi dan Digital KKD bersama dengan Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia KPM melalui program CyberSafe di sekolah oleh Cyber Security Malaysia telah merintis pelbagai inisiatif dan aktiviti bagi menyokong lagi aspirasi pelan tersebut. Dan NICTSeD juga merupakan program tahunan yang telah dimasukkan ke dalam kalender rasmi sekolah. Jadi sebelum ini acara ini dijalankan secara fizikal, namun mulai tahun 2021 ianya beralih kepada pelaksanaan secara maya susulan pandemik COVID-19. Jadi sejak itu penganjuran NICTSeD diteruskan secara hybrid sepanjang tempoh pertandingan. Untuk acara kita pada hari ini, di belakang saya auditorium dipenuhi dengan wakil-wakil dari KPM, Divdi Kehormat serta murid-murid dari 3 buah sekolah yang akan berentap di pentas akhir NICTSeD kita pada hari ini, iaitu murid-murid dari SFK Tinggi Keluang Johor, Sekolah Menengah Sains Tuanku Syed Putra Perlis dan SMJK Cik Sin Pulau Pinang. 3 penjuru Semenanjung Malaysia berkumpul di Kuala Lumpur di sini pada hari ini untuk kita saksikan sekolah manakah yang akan merangkul gelaran juara pada hari ini setelah beberapa lama mereka bertanding. Dan untuk pengetahuan orang ramai juga yang menonton kita, NICTSeD disasarkan kepada murid-murid sekolah menengah di seluruh Malaysia, dan pertandingan ini kita buka kepada semua sekolah menengah bantuan kerajaan di Malaysia mulai tahun 2024. Kelayakan penyertaan telah pun diperluas kepada pelajar Maktab Rendah Sains Mara atau atau MRSM, dan pertandingan ini terbuka kepada pelajar tingkatan 1 hinggalah pelajar-pelajar tingkatan 5 dengan syarat setiap sekolah hanya dibenarkan menghantar satu penyertaan bagi setiap edisi pertandingan. Mungkin saya boleh kongsikan juga ya apa antara objektif pertandingan ini. Pertandingan ini bertujuan untuk merangsang pemikiran kreatif dan juga kritis dalam kalangan peserta berkaitan isu keselamatan cyber, khususnya dalam penggunaan internet dan perkembangan teknologi. Selain itu, pertandingan ini juga bertujuan untuk mengenal pasti kaedah bagi mengatasi cabaran serta risiko semasa berada dalam talian, seterusnya melahirkan warga negara digital yang bertanggungjawab. Jadi bagaimana sesebuah sekolah boleh menyertai NICTSeD ini ya? Kalau anda ingin mengetahui, mungkin di tahun-tahun akan datang ada sekolah yang berminat nak menyertai pertandingan kita. Untuk pengetahuan semua, setiap sekolah diwajibkan menghantar satu video pembentangan dengan durasi maksimum 5 minit melalui laman web rasmi pertandingan ini, iaitu NICTSeD.cybersafe.my, dan pertandingan sekolah hendaklah mematuhi terma serta syarat-syarat pertandingan dengan menghantar video dalam tempoh masa yang telah pun ditetapkan. Ini bermakna sekiranya ada sekolah yang berminat untuk menyertai, mereka perlu mengenal pasti tarikh bermulanya pertandingan ini dan tempoh masa untuk menghantar. Jadi kegagalan menghantar penyertaan dalam tempoh masa yang telah ditetapkan akan menyebabkan penyertaan ditolak oleh pihak jawatan kuasa pertandingan. Jadi selepas itu, peserta-peserta yang dipilih berdasarkan kriteria yang telah ditetapkan selepas tarikh tutup penyertaan, dan proses pemilihan atau pusingan kelayakan akan dilaksanakan di peringkat negeri berdasarkan senarai sekolah mengikut negeri yang telah menghantar penyertaan. Jadi oleh itu, Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri JPN telah pun diberikan kebenaran untuk menganjurkan pertandingan peringkat negeri bagi memilih wakil masing-masing, dan proses pemilihan ini akan dijalankan oleh panel of experts POE yang dilantik daripada kalangan pakar keselamatan cyber, guru berpengalaman, penggiat industri serta pegawai cyber security Malaysia sendiri. Baiklah, jadi selepas ini mungkin sebentar lagi kita akan bersama-sama dengan beberapa individu untuk kita mengetahui dengan lebih lanjut lagi berkaitan dengan acara kita pada hari ini, iaitu NICTSeD. Dan sekali lagi, 3 sekolah yang akan bertanding di pentas akhir kita pada hari ini, yang mana mereka ini telah melalui pelbagai peringkat untuk sampai ke sini pada hari ini. Yang pertama, SMK Tinggi Keluang Johor. Yang kedua, Sekolah Menengah Sains Tuanku Said Putra Perlis, dan SMJ Kejit Sin Pulau Pinang. Kita akan lihat di akhir program kita pada hari ini, di akhir siaran langsung kita, siapakah yang akan membawa pulang. Saya yakin murid-murid yang mewakili 3 sekolah yang saya sebutkan ini bersedia untuk bersorak bagi pasukan sekolah masing-masing. Jadi itu saya telah kongsikan ya, apa antara objektif dan bagaimana sesebuah sekolah boleh menyertai pertandingan ini. Mungkin di tahun akan datang sekolah sudah boleh mula membuat persediaan awal sekiranya mereka berminat untuk menghantar wakil untuk memfokuskan kepada pertandingan di peringkat negeri supaya mereka dapat menjadi wakil negeri masing-masing. Kalau lihat kepada alumni kejohanan ini di tahun-tahun yang lalu, kalau tak salah saya di tahun 2024 sebuah sekolah dari Pahang telah menjuarai pertandingan ini. Jadi kita lihat adakah Johor, Perlis atau Pulau Pinang yang akan merangkul kejuaraan kita. Jadi hasil daripada pertandingan ini kita percaya ianya bakal berjaya membangunkan kemahiran berfikir secara kreatif dan kritis dalam kalangan pelajar, di mana mereka ini mampu mengenal pasti serta mengetengahkan lagi isu-isu semasa berkaitan internet dan juga kemajuan teknologi. Dan selain itu, ianya turut memupuk serta meningkatkan kesedaran dalam kalangan pelajar, khususnya pelajar-pelajar sekolah menengah tingkatan 1 hingga tingkatan 5, kerana bagi saya mereka adalah golongan remaja yang paling banyak menggunakan internet pada waktu sekarang ya, dan mereka perlu mengenal pasti kepentingan keselamatan cyber selaras dengan tagline program CyberSafe, Be Smart, Be Safe. Dan pertandingan ini juga diiktiraf sebagai platform untuk para pelajar membincangkan isu keselamatan cyber di peringkat global. Jadi melalui penyertaan inilah budaya penggunaan internet dan teknologi secara positif dan beretika dapat diperkukuhkan lagi dalam kalangan remaja khususnya ya. Dan di samping itu, pertandingan ini juga memperkenalkan serta memupuk budaya pengucapan awam yang berteraskan nilai positif dari aspek intelek dan juga akademik dalam kalangan pelajar. Baiklah penonton-penonton di rumah, acara kita bakal bermula sebentar saja lagi. Jadi diharapkan semua dapat bersama-sama dengan kita hingga ke akhir program. Ayuh kita sama-sama saksikan acara yang akan berlangsung di belakang saya ini di pentas utama, di mana pentas akhir National ICT Security Discourse 2025. Sama-sama kita saksikan.
Amiruddin Abdul Wahab, Chief Executive Officer, Cyber Security Malaysia. Yang terhormat para hadirin sekalian, salam sejahtera dan selamat datang ke majlis penutup dan penyampaian hadiah pertandingan akhir Wacana Keselamatan ICT Kebangsaan Piala Cabaran CYBERSAFE 2025. Bagi memulakan majlis pada tengah hari ini, dipersilakan para hadirin sekalian untuk berdiri bagi menghayati lagu kebangsaan Malaysia, Negaraku. Ladies and gentlemen, with great respect, may I invite everyone to rise and join in honouring the national anthem of Malaysia, Negaraku. Majlis Majlis dengan hormatnya menjemput adik Danish Ikram bin Muhammad Hasnur Rizwandi dari Sekolah Menengah Sains Tuanku Said Putra untuk memimpin bacaan ikrar.
Bahawasanya negara kita Malaysia mendukung cita-cita hendak mencapai perpaduan yang lebih erat dalam kalangan seluruh masyarakatnya, memelihara satu cara hidup demokratik, mencipta satu masyarakat adil di mana kemakmuran negara akan dapat dinikmati bersama secara adil dan saksama, menjamin satu cara liberal terhadap tradisi-tradisi kebudayaannya yang kaya dan pelbagai corak, membina satu masyarakat progresif yang akan menggunakan sains dan teknologi moden. Ikrar. Maka kami, rakyat Malaysia, berikrar akan menumpukan seluruh tenaga dan usaha kami untuk mencapai cita-cita tersebut berdasarkan atas prinsip-prinsip yang berikut: kepercayaan kepada Tuhan, kesetiaan kepada raja dan negara, keluhuran perlembagaan, kedaulatan undang-undang, kesopanan dan kesusilaan. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih diucapkan kepada adik Danish Ikram bin Muhammad Hasnur Rizwandi dari Sekolah Menengah Sains Tuanku Said Putra atas bacaan ikrar tadi. Hadirin, disilakan duduk. Bagi memohon keberkatan Yang Maha Esa dan memberkati majlis kita pada hari ini, mari kita mulakan dengan bacaan doa. Dengan penuh takzim, majlis menjemput Encik Muhammad Fazli bin Mat Akar untuk memimpin bacaan doa. Dipersilakan. To seek blessings upon today's proceedings, we shall now begin with the recitation of the dua. Please join us in prayer.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. الحمد لله القائل تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فتور اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. In the name of Allah, the most merciful and the most kind. Ya Allah, we beg you to grant us with all good things which pertain to this day and days hereafter, protection from all evil which pertain to this day and days hereafter. Ya Allah, you are peace, and all peace is from you, and all peace return to you. Ya Allah, most compassionate and most merciful, on this blessed day, we gather for the National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025 Grand Final. We ask for your blessing so that this event may proceed smoothly, fruitfully, and under your divine protection. Grant us help and strength among those whom you grant help and strength. Ya Allah, Ya Alim, grant us beneficial knowledge, deep understanding, and wisdom in facing the ever-growing challenges of the cyber world. Make our effort in strengthening ICT security a form of good deed that benefit our faith, our people, and our nation. Ya Allah, verily, we ask you for the best supplication, and the best success, and the best deed, and the best reward. And may blessing and peace be upon our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his family, and his companion. All praises is due to Allah. Allahumma ja'al jama'ana jam'an marhuma, wa tafarruqna min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma, wa la taj'al Allahumma fina, wa la ma'ana, wa la man yatba'ana shaqiyan, wa la matrudan, wa la mahruma. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وبارك وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Setinggi-tinggi penghargaan dan terima kasih diucapkan kepada Encik Muhammad Fazli bin Mat Akar atas pimpinan bacaan doa sebentar tadi. Thank you Encik Muhammad Fazli bin Mat Akar for graciously leading us in prayer. Dengan berkat doa itu, marilah kita teruskan majlis dengan agenda seterusnya. With that blessings, let's now proceed with the following item on our program. Distinguished guests, it's now my honor and privilege to invite the Deputy Minister of Digital to deliver his speech. Please join me in welcoming Yang Berhormat Datuk Wilson Uga Anak Kumbong to deliver his speech.
Terima kasih saudari pengacara majlis kita pada petang ini yang berusaha Encik Zainal bin Abbas, the Deputy Director General of Education Malaysia, Minister of Education, yang berusaha Tuan Syakib Ahmad Syakir, Deputy Secretary General of Ministry of Digital Strategic Management, yang berusaha Puan Hajah Nuriyati binti Abdul Wahab, Senior Deputy Director, Education and Resources and Technologies, Division Ministry of Education, yang berbahagia teknologis Dr. Haji Amaluddin Abdul Wahab, the Chief Executive Officers, Cyber Security Malaysia, Senior Officers from Ministry of Education, participants and panelists of the NICTSeD 2025, distinguished guests, members of the media, and ladies and gentlemen. Salam sejahtera, salam Malaysia Madani, salam segulai sejalai. and a very good afternoon to all of you. First and foremost, I would like to thank the Cybersecurity Malaysia for giving me the honor to officiate the grand final of National ICT Security Discourse CYBERSAFE Challenge Trophy 2025. This competition is not just an event, ladies and gentlemen. It is a platform that sharpens the mind of the young Malaysian, teaching them to think critically, speak with confidence, and understand the importance of cybersecurity to this digital world. Since it began in 2013, NICTSeD has grown into a respected initiative jointly organized by Cybersecurity Malaysia with Education Resources and Technology Division of the Ministry of Education and supported by the Ministry of Digital. To all participants today, reaching this stage is already a great achievement for you all. You are not only competing for a trophy, but also stepping forward as the next generation of leaders and defenders of our nation's digital future. Congratulations once again, and thanks you to the organizer, the partners, sponsors who make this journey possible today. Ladies and gentlemen, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan yang saya hormati sekalian, we live in an era where technologies is advancing at a rapid pace. Artificial intelligence, or AI now, is transforming how we study, shop, work, and communicate. Use it wisely, ladies and gentlemen. It can improve life and create opportunities for you. But at the same time, it can also be misused to spread scam, manipulate information, and even take advantage to our emotion. For this reason, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan, digital literacies and awareness are very, very important than ever. Our students and young people must equip not only to use technologies, but to question it, to understand it, and to protect themselves from its risks. We need to guide our youth to understand AI. In simple terms, to recognize how their online behavior shapes the information they receive, and to think critically about what they see online. With this knowledge that you have today, they can grow into responsible, ethical, and resilient digital citizens. From January to July this year, Cyber 99 at Cybersecurity Malaysia recorded 4,495 cyber threat incidents. The top 3 incidents were the fraud, the 3,365, content-related, 364, and instruction, 336 incidents. This number reminds us that cybercrime is a real growing now. To address this, ladies and gentlemen, the government and its partners have launched many initiatives. One of the most important is the National Scam Response Center, a joint effort by National Financial Crime Prevention Center, Royal Malaysian Police, Bank Negara, and Malaysian Communication and Multimedia Commissions, and also the banking sector. The National Scam Response Center, or NSRC, was established to curb financial fraud, help victims of scam to act fast and stop losses. If you ever fall victim to an online scheme, you can call 997 between 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or your bank hotline, which operated 24 hours now. For our students and youth, I want to emphasize some simple but powerful practice for you. One, Always use strong, unique, and fast words and keep them safe. Number 2, be alert of suspicious messages, link or offer that sound too good to be true. And number 3, ladies and gentlemen, keep your device and app updated to protect against vulnerabilities. Most importantly, remember that cyber criminals often target human emotion, fear, greed, excitement, or even kindness. If something feels suspicious, pause, think, and check before you act. By practicing good cyber hygiene and awareness, our young people can protect themselves and contribute to building a safer digital in Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, adik-adik dan sekolah-sekolah yang berada pada hari ini, inilah platform yang terbaik. Adik mengenal bagaimanakah yang telah dipamerkan, yang telah dipelajar dalam 2 hari ini. Kerana Malaysia berjaya dan Malaysia maju dengan menggunakan teknologi, supaya teknologi ini kita sama dengan teknologi di merata tempat. Maka dengan itu saya berterima kasih kepada Cyber Security Malaysia kerana memberi pendedahan, kerana pada hari ini banyak scam. Scammers are everywhere now because they don't want to work. The most important thing to do is to scam people so they get money from those who are not awareness in terms of scammers. Macam saya di pendalaman, rakyat-rakyat kita di kampung-kampung pendalaman. Saya sentiasa sebagai wakil rakyat dari kawasan Ulu. Saya sentiasa memberitahu kepada penduduk-penduduk di pendalaman supaya mesti lalai dengan penipuan data talian ini. Lebih canggih, lebih manfaat atau lebih teknologi yang baru. Banyak lagi penipu-penipu juga lebih pandai dan pintar untuk mereka menipu. Maka dengan itu, adik-adik sekalian, inilah peluang. Balik dari ini, gunakan ilmu yang telah diberi dan juga atas yang telah diberitahu oleh Cyber Security tadi, bawalah dan teruskan untuk memberitahu rakan-rakan yang tidak bersama kita pada hari ini. Dengan itu, tuan-tuan dan puan-puan dan ladies and gentlemen, Malaysia is committed to taking the leading roles in cybersecurity, not just nationally, but also regionally. As a chair of ASEAN, we continue to promote cooperation through the ASEAN Cybersecurity Cooperation Strategic 2026 to 2013. Sharing information, responding to incidents in a real time, and building mutual trust among the nation. Here at home, Cybersecurity Malaysia, through programs like CYBERSAFE in school, and NICTSeD, is helping to build awareness and good habit among young Malaysians. This is how we create a strong foundation for our digital future. To the finalists today, whether you win or lose, you are already the champion today. You have shown courage, insight, and leadership. This quality will serve you well, and not only this competition, but also in a future career in your life. Let us today, ladies and gentlemen, listen forward and embrace technology's responsibilities, strengthen our resilience against cyber threat, and empower every citizen to be safe, confident, and ethical in the digital age. I wish to all participants an enriching and memorable experience at NICTSeD 2025. May this competition continue to inspire our youth to build a secure, innovative, trustworthy digital Malaysian. With that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for all of you who are participating in this event.
Thank you, Yang Berhormat Datuk Wilson, for that inspiring speech. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as we commence this momentous occasion, accompanied by Mr. Chairperson Encik Edwan Muhammad Aidit of Cybersecurity Malaysia, together with our esteemed panel of experts, it gives me great pleasure to invite you to join me in extending a resounding welcome to our finalists of the National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025, representing the spirit of excellence, discipline, innovation. Please welcome SMJK Jitsin Pulau Pinang, SMK Tinggi Keluang Johor, and SM Science Tuanku Said Putra Perlis, led in with pride and grandeur by St. John's Alumni Pipe Band Malaysia. Thank you. What an electrifying start. Nicely done, St. John's Alumni Pipe Band Malaysia. Founded in 2005 by the proud alumni of St. John's Institution Cadet Band, this ensemble was born from a passion to preserve and share the rich tradition of Highland and Scottish music through the timeless sound of bagpipes and drums. Today, their contemporary renditions continue to captivate audiences and fill every space with energy, heritage, and harmony. Thank you once again, St. John's Alumni Pipe Band Malaysia, for gracing our ceremony with your remarkable performance. Yang Berhormat Datuk Wilson Uga Anak Kumbung, Deputy Minister of Digital. Yang Berusaha Encik Zainal bin Abbas, Deputy Director General of Education Malaysia, Ministry of Education. Yang Berusaha Tuan Shakib Ahmad Shakir bin Jamaluddin, Deputy Secretary General, Strategic and Management Ministry of Digital. Yang Berusaha Encik Mokhtar bin Wahid, Deputy Director, Educational Resources and Technology Division, Ministry of Education. Yang Berbahagia Datuk Technologist, Dr. Haji Amiruddin Abdul Wahab, Chief Executive Officer, Cybersecurity Malaysia. senior officials from the Ministry of Education, participants and finalists of NICTSeD 2025, distinguished guests, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. I am Pushparani Subramaniam from the Educational Resources and Technology Division, and it's indeed an honor and privilege to join all of you in this distinguished occasion. First and foremost, allow me to extend my heartfelt congratulations to the teams who have successfully made to the finals. Well done, and we are incredibly proud of you and excited to witness your performance in this grand finals. For those who may be less familiar, the National ICT Security Discourse, or NICTSeD, is Malaysia's first national-level school discourse on cybersecurity. It was initiated and organized by Cybersecurity Malaysia in collaboration with the Ministry of Education and supported by the Ministry of Digital. Since its inception in 2013, NICTSeD has served as a dynamic platform for disseminating vital knowledge on cybersecurity in ways that are both engaging and meaningful for students and teachers alike. At its heart, NICTSeD aims to cultivate creative and critical thinking among participants on pressing internet and technological issues being debated worldwide. More importantly, it empowers students and teachers to address online risks and challenges, ultimately nurturing a generation of innovative, responsible, and ethical internet users. Distinguished guests, over the past 11 years of hosting NICTSeD, we have had the privilege of crowning a diverse range of schools as champions of this esteemed competition. Equally, NICTSeD would not have evolved to the prestigious standards you see today without the invaluable support of our strategic partners, in particular, the Educational Resources and Technology Division of the Ministry of Education, the very backbone of CyberSafe in Schools program, proudly powered by Cybersecurity Malaysia since 2010. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, in giving them a warm and wholehearted round of applause in recognition to their dedication. And now, the moment we have all been waiting for. It's time to commence the CyberSafe in Schools National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025 Grand Final. This year's thought-provoking topic is the role of AI-powered sentiment analysis in shaping consumer trust and buying behavior, a study on its influence in the modern retail sector with practical consumer guidelines. Ladies and gentlemen, to facilitate this prestigious discourse, please welcome our chairperson, Encik Edwan Muhammad Aidit. Encik Edwan, the floor is yours now.
Thank you very much, Pushpa. Assalamualaikum, selamat sejahtera and good afternoon. I bid to all and welcome to the National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025. The National ICT Security Discourse for this year's Grand Final is now in session. First and foremost, let me introduce myself. I am Edwan Muhammad Aidit from Cybersecurity Malaysia, and I will preside as chairperson for today's discourse. Assisting me today will be our timekeeper, Mr. Muhammad Nur Firdaus bin Cik Ani from Cybersecurity Malaysia, who will help ensure that every team gets a fair and equal chance to pitch their respective proposals. Ladies and gentlemen, after 15 thought-provoking topics that have challenged intellect and inspired discourse, we now stand at the threshold of the final proposal, where every word spoken, every argument raised, and every answer delivered holds the power to shape the outcome. With profound pride and eager anticipation, we are privileged to welcome 3 extraordinary teams to this momentous grand final discourse. Representing Team A in today's grand final is from SMJKJs in Pulau Pinang. Their first presenter, let's welcome Mr. Wong Zi Han. And the second presenter, let's give her a round of applause as well, Miss Fiona Charisma Francis. And the lovely technical expert we have there is Miss Ku Zer Shin. Team B, represented by the school from Johor. Let's welcome SMK Tinggi Keluang. Their first presenter, let's welcome Mr. Nick Afzal Iqbal bin Nick Muhammad Azmi. Second presenter, let's welcome Ms. Rishika Anak Perempuan Ramesh. And their third member of the team, let's welcome their technical expert, Ms. Kong Yong Sin. Team C, all the way from Perlis, welcome SM Science Tuanku Syed Putra. Their first presenter, Ms. Siti Zulaika binti Ahmad Nazim. While the second presenter, the handsome man, Mr. Amar Ihsan bin Izwan. While their technical expert, let's welcome Ms. Nur Sarah Amani binti Saiful Adli. Welcome to all the team. Ladies and gentlemen, let's not forget we are also pleased to be joined by our esteemed panel of experts, or POE, who will be providing guidance, evaluation and constructive feedback to the teams today, consisting of the Chief of POE, Technologist Wan Royshami Wan Ahmad, Chief Technology Officer from CyberSecurity Malaysia, let's welcome Encik Roy Ng, TikTok Shop Malaysia Governance and Experience Lead from TikTok. We welcome next Puan Nur Khalili binti Zulkifli, Deputy Director of Academic Affairs, College Mara Banting from Mara. Our next POE, let's welcome Puan Shafika Anissa Ling Abdullah, Senior Analyst, Information Security Management and Assurance Department from CyberSecurity Malaysia. Up next, let's welcome Technologist Dr. Muhammad Nizam Kasim, Deputy Director from National Anti-Financial Crime Center, NFCC. Up next, let's welcome Dr. Jayanti Jayaraman, Assistant Director, Educational Resources and Technology Division from the Ministry of Education. Welcome. Lastly, let's welcome Encik Ahmad Izham Khairuddin, Head of Transformation Unit from CyberSecurity Malaysia. we have it, ladies and gentlemen, the finalists, the panel of experts that we have today in our grand final. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we are set to commence the National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025 Grand Final with the topic of the role of AI-powered sentiment analysis in shaping consumer trust and buying, purchasing behavior, a study on its influence in the modern retail sector with practical consumer guidelines. Therefore, to begin our discourse, I would like to call upon the first presenter from Team A, SMJK Jetson, to deliver his team's opening page. Let's welcome Mr. Wong Zi Han.
Before I start, here is a quick QR code that you can scan in order to get a closer look on our research. I'll start my speech in 3, 2, 1. What if retail has never only been about what you see, but how you feel? In the past, trust in retail was built through colorful advertisements and glossy posters. Think of the shiny burger in the McDonald's ad in the 90s. Perfect, polished, irresistible. But behind it was a slow and shallow way of knowing customers, counting stars, conducting surveys, and waiting weeks for feedback. If you complain, it could take months before anyone took notice. Today, that delay is gone. AI sentiment analysis constantly scans through thousands of reviews and posts in real time, revealing not just what consumers say, but why they feel that way. So, this instant insight allows retailers to respond in hours, not weeks, transforming the foundation of consumer behavior. Their actions are now guided by what I call 3A. Adapting strategies to shifting emotions, adjusting products or services in real time, and accommodating to diverse needs, reinforcing trust and hook the consumers. According to Gartner, brands that personalize interactions can achieve up to a 20% increase in customer retention. And Nike demonstrates this clearly. When complaints surface about discomfort in their running shoes, Nike adapted, redesigning them with more flexible and supportive materials, which led to higher customer satisfaction. In addition, Nike also picked up on the rising demand for eco-friendly products. So, they responded by launching shoes that were made out of recycled materials, which quickly became bestsellers. This shows how AI sentiment analysis helps retailers to adapt to consumer needs, reinforcing trust and shaping buying behavior. Now, the trust and behavior shift we've seen in physical retail doesn't end there. It continues online as well. Amazon relies on AI sentiment analysis to refine its recommendation engine. By scanning millions of reviews, it identifies trends in praises and complaints, leading to product improvements, such as improving the battery life of Echo speakers. This matters because 91% of consumers prefer shopping with brands that offer relevant recommendations, which Amazon's system now drives 35% of its revenue. So, the outcome is clear. When shoppers feel understood and see products improved in their line of feedback, they return, reinforcing trust and loyalty. Now, beyond adapting or adjusting, AI sentiment analysis also indirectly drives accommodation. For example, McDonald's monitors reviews and social media across its 38,000 platforms. So, when complaints resurface, the company acts by tweaking recipes, retraining staff, or even fixing supply issues, which leads to higher customer satisfaction. This shows how AI sentiment analysis translates feedback into concrete action, ensuring customers feel heard. Now, we've seen how AI sentiment analysis shapes both trust and behavior. But its influence doesn't stop there. It also brings clear benefits. The first is personalization. By identifying popular trends such as a popular summer dress, it helps retailers to highlight products which customers like. Secondly, it also indirectly drives proactive action. Airlines like AirAsia uses AI sentiment analysis to detect complaints, leading to faster fixes and stronger trust. So we've returned to where we began. Retail has never been about what we see, but how we feel. AI sentiment analysis may help retailers to respond faster, but if over-reliance, privacy risks, and misread emotion creeps in, then trust itself is at stake. That is why my second speaker will present our proposal, our practical consumer guideline, CARE, to protect our voices, our trust, and our safety. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Team A. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move on to the next presenter from Team B. Let's now hear the opening pitch from Team B. I would like to call upon the first presenter, Mr. Nick Afzal Iqbal bin Nick Muhammad Azmi.
AI, the biggest boon in the world right now. People always talk about how useful it is, but have you ever stopped to wonder how it can influence us? In 2022, when Taylor Swift Eras tour tickets sold out in minutes, fans flooded social media with outrage and hashtags trended worldwide. But here's the real story. Companies weren't just scrolling through Twitter like us. They were running these posts under AI-powered sentiment analysis, tracking emotions, quantifying anger, and measuring trust in real time. What looks to us is just like millions of angry Swifties is to the retail sector a massive, very public data set on consumer trust and behavior. And the tools that analyze the whole Ticketmaster fiasco are also used daily to influence the way you and I shop. To start our presentation, what exactly is AI-powered sentiment analysis? Well, it is an analysis that is ran by AI that allows firms to detect and quantify consumer emotions at scale and allows them to detect trends way earlier than normal methods. They take an input, i.e. social media posts, to then process it by using NLP, natural language processing, and making a decision based on those posts. They will then be outputted to managers, customers, and product teams. According to Media, companies who use AI-powered sentiment analysis saw a 25% increase in customer satisfaction and a 15% increase in brand loyalty. This means companies can now save hours of manual effort without sacrificing customer satisfaction. Plus, users have reported that their feeds are now more accurate to their preferences. But where exactly can we see this AI analysis being used? As a common example, McDonald's uses AI analysis to monitor its 38,000 locations worldwide. With it, they've been able to quickly detect any negative feedback on a menu item or location, allowing them to take quick action to fix the problems. Another example is Amazon. Amazon uses AI analysis to detect consumer sentiments towards the products that are sold on their site. This allows them to push more popular products while also figuring out why some products does the opposite. Long story short, AI sentiment analysis is widely being used in the modern retail sector. Now, our team has also done research by interviewing two people who work in the intersection between technology and retail. The first person is Nagendran Perumal, a chief technology officer who develops AI sentiment analysis software for companies. The second person is Sasitharan Velayutham, the vice president of digital enterprise at Valiram. Through these interviews, we have managed to identify 3 benefits of AI sentiment analysis in the modern retail sector. The first benefit is personalized recommendations. Shoppers can now discover products they might like without the need to search it up. This can further improve customer satisfaction while also boosting company profits. As an example, Coca-Cola created a whole new drink based on people's positive feedback on their products. The second benefit is social proof and trust building. AI analysis can help build confidence in the authenticity of lesser known brands and allow consumers to make decisions way faster than before. The time for customer feedback is also improved. For example, when T-Mobile implemented the system, their client complaint went down by a whopping 73%. The third and last benefit is cultural nuance in consumer behavior. The use of locally developed AI can help in easing holiday shoppings, as they can be made to adapt to cultural holidays, especially in a country such as ours. Recently, Malaysian companies have started to come up with their own forms of AI that can be implemented in such a way, such as Sentirobo or Ilmu that was just released 3 weeks ago. However it may be, some people might disagree with our findings. That's why we have surveyed about 250 people in our local community, covering many age ranges. This has exhibited a mixed bag of opinions about the role of AI in the retail sector. Dear panel of experts, if you would like a clearer picture on the questions given in the survey, you may refer to the handouts given to you. From this survey, some people have admitted to feeling apprehensive in the role of AI in the retail sector, while some also claim that online recommendations can make them spend more time than originally planned. That's why, as Newton's third law goes, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So far, our team has been presenting on the benefits of AI sentiment analysis. But my dear partner will continue on with the potential cons of AI sentiment analysis and the practical guidelines to guide consumers through them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Nick Afzai Kubal. Proceeding further into this interesting opening session, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Team C, SM Sains Tuanku Syed Putra, to present their proposal. Please welcome their first presenter, Ms. Siti Zulaika binti Ahmad Nazim.
Ladies and gentlemen, picture this. You are scrolling through an online shopping application where you are searching for trendy dresses. And after you're done with your purchasing, you begin to scroll further. But then you start to see pops-up and ads about trendy dresses. Doesn't that raise your concern? Well, ladies and gentlemen, today we aim to explore how AI-powered sentiment analysis drives consumer trust and influence retail purchasing decisions, and how consumers can protect themselves in this new era. As the first presenter, I will be talking about how AI sentiment analysis evolved and its benefit. My second presenter will be talking about the other side of the coin and practical guideline for the consumers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at the history, how sentiment analysis evolved. Back in the day, companies and retailers used to get review from the customer by giving review paper in order to get the review after the customer purchased something from their retail. But nowadays, AI has been implemented to the system, where it actually enhances the satisfaction to both consumers and retailers and improve the companies to make it better. Now, we had conducted a study, we had conducted a survey on random people around Malaysia. And we found out that Shopee is the most application used nowadays, with a percentage of 87.3%. So, since Shopee is a widely used app nowadays, their company had taken the opportunity to implement AI in sentiment analysis. So, since they had implemented AI in sentiment analysis, what are the impacts of it? Well, study made by the Lasalle University had found that by implementing AI in sentiment analysis, Shopee had able to provide 24 availability surveys and respond where their response toward the customer review are consistent and accurate based on the product detail, and there are no mixed detail, and of course, it boosts the customer satisfaction. Now that is what happened in Malaysia. But what happened if we take a look at the status globally? Well, study made by Super AG found out that Amazon's recommendation engines had significantly contributed to its business success by accounting about 35% of its sales, where AI tailored suggestions such as browsing, buying history, and user preferences. Now, these two evidence shows how sentiment analysis evolved with the implementation of AI. Now, done talking about how AI evolved with the sentiment analysis, but what are the impacts of the implementations of it? Well, study made based on our survey that we conducted, we found out that 70.9% of consumers like to give review after they done purchase something online. Therefore, this survey leads to our first impacts that we found, which is the usage of AI in sentiment analysis, build consumer trust to personalize experiences and responses, where AI will operate efficiently to increase the customer's satisfaction and increase the customer's engagement and retention towards the application. So now, ladies and gentlemen, keep in mind that when we are talking about review, there will always be positive and negative review. For the negative review, AI helps the company to make 45% improvement in customer issue resolution time. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, this shows that AI sentiment analysis helps the retailers to improve the customer trust towards the companies and retailers. Now moving on to our second impact, which is AI in sentiment analysis helps retailers to understand real pain points to improve their product. Well, AI will help the sentiment analysis, their company, to interpret nuanced customer feedback in real time and allow their company to guide improvement and giving more agile response. And this, how do we prove it? Where study made by ARXIV found that it impacted business by giving 35% reduction in response time, 42% increase in conversion rate neutral to positive customer review through targeted follow-up, and 31% decrease in customer churn. So ladies and gentlemen, moving on to our third point, which is reducing fake review and scams by spotting anomalies, where AI will help to spot unusual pattern, reduce fake review, and detect scam behavior. Where study by Amazon had found that in 2022, they are able to block over 200 million suspected fake review, and in 2024, their product review are labeled as authentic up to 99% because they are able to block it in the 2022. So therefore, ladies and gentlemen, all this evidence shows that AI in sentiment analysis is very important. It helps retailer understand. This evidence shows that it boosts personalization, but could it be a risky manipulation to the retailers, to the consumers? Well, that will be explained further by my second presenter. With that, thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Siti Zulaika. Things are just heating up. Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, after hearing the opening pitches from the first presenters, we move into the critical section of the discourse, the follow-up points. Here, the second presenters will expand and strengthen their proposals, while other teams will have the opportunity to pose questions between the second and 7 minutes. Therefore, we shall begin by calling upon the second presenter from Team A to enlighten us with the follow-up points to their proposal. Let us give a round of applause to Ms. Fiona Charisma Francis.
Test. Okay, just a gentle reminder again. If you guys want to look at our analysis and studies, you guys can actually scan through this QR code. Thank you very much. Okay. So I'll be starting my speech in 3, 2, 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we have seen how AI has the power to transform the retail world. But that exact power comes with a risk. Before that, a very good day to everyone I present here. In my discourse today, I'll be continuing what my first speaker said and delve deeper into the influence of AI-based sentiment analysis in the modern retail sector. As everyone says, there are two sides to every single coin. While my first speaker painted the positive side of AISA, allow me to paint the negative side of it. One of it would be the over-reliance of AI, which is a fundamental issue in the 21st century. According to the Chile Task Block, a telecommunication company previously used AI-based sentiment analysis to monitor customer sentiment through social media. However, due to the lack of human insights, the AI model failed to actually interpret the contextual ambiguities of human communication. To put it in simple words, it misclassified many positive comments as negative ones. The second issue here would be misinformation. Well, a 2022 study analyzed Facebook comments on the Malaysian food and beverage posts. So these comments included the language of Chinese, English, and Bahasa Melayu, which of course came with local slangs and idioms as well. So what happened was, this AI model used Western and Chinese lexicons, which of course failed to interpret the real customer sentiment behind the screen. Now finally, there are privacy and ethical concerns. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that in 2012, Target used AI-based sentiment analysis to track a teenager's shopping behavior, where they scanned that she was pregnant and they knew it even before her family knew? This is absurd, right? Well, Target used guest ID numbers to track their information, including the reviews they post online and even their entire purchase history. So based on this analysis, Target started sending her maternity and baby product coupons. So at the end of the day, it revealed one of the most important and sensitive information of her life. So upon recognizing the risks, the main question arises: how can consumers protect themselves while still enjoy AI-powered retail? This is where Team A's framework, CARE, comes in hopes for Cybersecurity Malaysia to implement and consider these guidelines into their current initiatives. So let's start with the very first pillar of our framework, C, communicate clearly. Well, I previously talked about the issue of misinterpretation of AI usage, correct? That is why consumers should be made aware to practice clear communication when posting reviews. Why is this so important? Well, just a few days ago, our team tested this exact theory in several AI platforms by using bilingual abbreviations and dialects. As expected, AI models such as Gemini fail to understand short meanings such as the word hangpa in Malay. So in short, consumers should learn how to use simple words, write organized reviews, and most importantly, avoid slangs in their reviews so that it's understandable. So this is an example of a good review and an example that you should not follow. Okay, let us move on to the second pillar of our framework. A, awareness of rights. Well, just a simple question to ask all of you. How many of you are actually aware of the four-pillar consumer rights first instilled by John F. Kennedy? I would assume it's the minority, right? That is why consumers should be made aware of the right to safety, the right to be informed, the right to choose, and the right to be heard. In the Malaysian context, consumers should be aware and acknowledge the existence of Consumer Protection Act 1999 and Cybersecurity Act 2024, which is CSM's very own implementation. Why is this so important? If today privacy violations cases do occur and non-consensual data extraction due to AISA do happen, then consumers would know where to turn to and the correct procedure to do so. This ties to the third framework today, are report violations. Well, let's take an example. You're surfing through the internet right now, and as a consumer, you spot a fake review or maybe even false marketing. And then you think, where should I turn to? This is the moment you can see the Ministry of Domestic Trade and Cost of Living. So, even if you're a 17-year-old struggling in the world of consumerism, a 25-year-old unable or unsure to know where to report a dodgy product, or maybe a 70-year-old wanting to report that online site and to see if it sells counterfeit supplements, MDTCL is there to guide you every step of the way. So today, our suggestion for CSM is to collaborate with this exact agency. Well, yes?
I'd like to go back to your last point when you said communicate clearly when the AI couldn't interpret consumer. Now, is it the consumer's fault that they couldn't communicate clearly even though they are using their own language? Or is it the fault of the AI because it has not been trained? Could you please clarify?
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, it is not the fault of anything. I would like to rephrase your question though. I would like to say that every single thing comes with the effort of everyone. Even in using AISA systems, everyone should have an equal effort and an equal opportunity to do their best. Yes, companies should mandate and regulate the use of AISA to constantly improve it. But of course, when consumers use clear language to communicate, it helps as well because they can use clear language. At the same time, everyone understands. Even AISA translate it in an easy manner. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on.
Excuse me?
Existing hotline.
Have a question.
Can you wait a minute,
Yeah,
madam?
sure.
Thank you very much. So existing hotline, such as the Cyber 999 Help Center, do exist to eliminate these online frauds as well. Yes.
Okay, you say awareness of rights. This might be too wordy for the average consumer. How do you plan on introducing this to the general public in a simpler, more understandable manner?
That is a very insightful question. However, I do have this answer in the later part of my speech. So hold on. Okay, the fourth pillar, E, examine terms. Okay, take a look at the screen right now. You might see a terms and condition. It looks very normal, right? But if you look closely, you might have missed some of the most important details in Shopee's TNCs regarding privacy consent. And that is exactly why even I miss to read these sometimes. And Deloitte study proves this too. However, we should read these guidelines because by reading these guidelines and when MDTCL mandates companies operating in Malaysia to make it easier to read, for example like this, user-friendly terms, it is easier for consumers to read. Now back to your question. To answer it, the real challenge is how to make this to reach the wider audience, these guidelines. This is where we believe that CSM can collaborate with fan-favorite influencers, such as Khairul Aming and even some famous edu influencers. See, with this, we believe that they can explain it in a simpler manner so that everyone understands and implement these in their real life. The conclusion. Eliezer Yudovsky once said, the greatest danger of AI is thinking we understand it too soon. So therefore, we have to use it wisely. And when AI is used wisely, it doesn't just improve the retail game. It redefines the entire game for both retailers and consumers. And with that, I proudly rest my discourse. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Fiona from Team A. And ladies and gentlemen, we've just heard some interesting points raised by the second presenter from Team A, SMJK Jitsin. And this session continues with the second presenter from Team B. Let's hear it for Miss Rishika Anak Perempuan Ramesh.
Back in 2018, Nike took a huge gamble. They had signed Colin Kaepernick, an NFL player who had recently protested racial injustice, to be the face of their new campaign. Immediately, the internet erupted. Some burnt their sneakers, while others rushed to buy new ones. Despite this divisive response, Nike wasn't flying blind. Here's the twist. They had used AI sentiment analysis to track the outrage, the support, and the conversations online. And it paid off in a huge way, as Nike sales increased by 31% in just a few days. That's the power of sentiment analysis. But with power comes risks. Today, I'll be here to further explain the points that we have highlighted and how consumers can ensure their safety in shopping. The first key area of impact is personalized recommendations. I'm sure all of you are familiar with the flash sales that occur on online storefronts. Well, what if I told you that it isn't random? These stores are able to personalize flash sales based on when you're most online or what your past reviews have said. While this can tailor to a consumer's needs, there is a risk of overconsumption. AI might push certain products during these times, increasing the risk of impulsive purchases that later become white elephants. The collection of this data also raises some privacy concerns. Moreover, it also lessens the discovery of new interests and products due to the personalization of AI, narrowing your recommendations to fit your criteria. So, what can consumers do? Well, first, they can set personal caps on impulsive spending. This may vary from person, as everyone hails from different tax brackets. Ad preferences that may narrow one's recommendations can also be adjusted. This is to ensure that you have more autonomy over the things that you see. Now, the second area of impact is social proof and trust building. As this AI is able to gauge a consumer's interest based on their past searches and reviews, it may push positive and fake reviews and hide negative reviews. This can lead to a consumer being misled into buying a product without having the full picture. Herd mentality can also occur when a consumer feels the need to follow a trend that is pushed by AI, especially in Malaysia, where kiasu and FOMO culture still run at large. This over-reliance on AI also impacts the critical thinking of consumers to make educated purchases. To combat this, consumers should always double-check reviews across multiple platforms when intending to make a purchase. This is also what is most popularly done by the 250 respondents in our survey.
Question, please.
I'll answer your question after the end of this slide. Thank you. So, in order to deal with cases of FOMO, consumers should also wait 24 hours before making a large purchase. And to ensure the legitimacy of a review, consumers should also look for those with pictures and a proper description instead of those that just say 5 stars. Yes, your question?
So your first speaker mentioned about how AI sentiment analysis builds trust in lesser-known brands. But we know lesser known brands typically have lesser reviews. So in the absence of reviews, how can AI sentiment analysis be incorporated? And how does it even build trust if there are no reviews? Thank you.
Well, this is because AI sentiment analysis doesn't just take reviews from that product, it also takes things from social media, talks online. So as long as that company ensures there are people endorsing that brand, then it will start to come up in recommendations. All right, thank you. So
Question?
Yes, your question?
All right, back to your point where the consumer can make it max to 2 buying per month. But what if they want to buy something really important, even if they had reached the limit?
Well, that is why we said that this may vary from person based on maybe your income, maybe your tax bracket. So it's really up to you to make a wise choice. Again, it's the consumer's choice at the end of the day.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the second key area of impact. So we know that the second key area of impact is trust, building trust and social proof. Okay, so what this means is that a lot of this AI brands is able to gauge a consumer's interest based on their reviews and the 70% of consumers online express themselves in Bahasa Malaysia, and the remaining 30% express themselves in a mixture of both English and Mandarin. This brings us to the third key area of impact, which is cultural nuance in consumer behavior. Well, this is because that many people tend to express themselves in different ways, whether it's through bahasa pasar, slangs, or sarcasm. What may be intended to be positive can also be read in a negative light. Well, this is dangerous because it also increases the risk of natural AI sentiment analysis to read a consumer. Moving on, during festival holidays, it also increases the risk of stereotyping as AI tends to make recommendations based on ethnicity and location alone. This also increases the risk of cultural misunderstandings as this AI is predominantly developed in Western countries, which pushes people from other regions to follow Western trends. Although Malaysia is showing advancements in this area, there is still a lot of time before it can be widely implemented in this sector. Time current consumers might not have. So in order to overcome this, consumers should push themselves to read beyond the summary AI has given and to read actual reviews by people in a more human tone. Consumers should also be mindful when dealing with culturally motivated recommendations. When dealing with culturally motivated recommendations by simply double-checking to ensure if the product is relevant in your lifestyle instead of just mindlessly clicking. The last question we asked consumers in our survey was if they would like simpler, clearer guidelines when shopping. And the answer, a resounding yes. So, how can we accomplish this? Well, first is through the Malaysia Future Education Blueprint in 2026, which helps us reshape our school's approach towards AI. Through subjects such as TMK and Pendidikan Moral, KPM can introduce this awareness of the development of AI in retail sectors to the future of our country. As the Malay proverb goes, melentah buluh biarlah dari rebungnya. Next is through CYBERSAFE, cybersecurity awareness for everyone, through programs such as NICTSeD, which already gives a large amount of awareness to everyone, such as to our lovely audience here. MCMC can also play a role through their Klik Dengan Bijak initiative. They can incorporate these guidelines in their educational visits and school talks. MCMC can also collaborate with KDPN in order to produce short modules and informative pop-ups that is used in retail apps themselves to grab consumers' attention. To tie it back to our guidelines, we present you with a simple acronym, SHOP, by setting spending limits, holding off 24 hours, opening eyes to real reviews, and personalizing ad recommendations, every consumer can shop smart, balancing both the benefits and the risks of AI sentiment analysis, no matter how powerful it gets. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Rishika, for the follow-up points to the team's proposal. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, let us now listen to the constructive points for the proposal by the second presenter of Team C, SM Science, Tuanku Syed Putra. Let's welcome Mr. Amar Ihsan bin Izwan.
You know what, panel? It's great. AI sentiment analysis is the greatest invention of the 21st century for retailers. Now, if you have noticed, the benefits of AI sentiment analysis mainly applies to the retailers. Now, what about the other side of the coin? How about the consumers? What about us? Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. I bid to all. I will be continuing my team's presentation by showing you the drawbacks of AI sentiment analysis. Now, the slides show that 87% of people actually concerned about their personal data and are concerned about their privacy being shared to AI sentiment analysis. And 82%, the same percentage, states that they will not even consent to AI sentiment analysis using their personal data. Now that brings us to the first point, which is data privacy risks. Now, AI sentiment analysis analyzes sensitive, emotional behavior cues without the explicit user's consent. Now, this raises privacy and transparency risks. I mean, who knows what the company is doing? They could be doing something that we don't even know. They could be using it to personalize offers, yes, but what about selling our data to third parties? Now, that is completely terrifying. Now, coming to our second point of the drawbacks of AI sentiment analysis, we can look at the risk of over-personalization becoming manipulation. Now, the deep personalization can morph into something that we call deep tailoring, where AI targets a person's core psychological traits. This is an approach that risks manipulative persuasion beyond just normal personalization as promised by AI. Now, this nudges impulse buying. I myself am a collector for a crazy kind of product that I won't say, but let me tell you, sometimes I find myself doom scrolling on Shopee rather than TikTok. And I tell you that I get into that situation where I really want to buy this one product, and I thank God that I don't have any money. Now, the willingness to buy when a product has high sentiment scores, people actually prefer to do that even though that product is more expensive. Now, this is the problem that we bring forth to the panel. The third and final drawback is bias in AI modules, where it gives off inaccurate trust signals and delivers unfair, skewed results. And this erodes the trust among all users, despite the user feeling like they are benefiting from AI sentiment analysis. This erodes the advantage for the retailers and also for the consumers. Before I go on, yes.
Okay, so you talked about over-personalization, but my single question to you is that at what point do you think that personalization becomes manipulation? Where does it draw the ethical line? Thank you very much.
That is actually quite a good concern and a good question. However, That question will be answered in my consumer guidelines later, and I'll leave it at that. Before we go on to that, actually, we have to understand two things. Number one is the current landscape of regulations. Well, in Europe, they stress on the manipulation and deception of AI through the acts that you can see here in the front, and requires companies to have explicit consent when AI is in use. In Malaysia, they've stressed on how companies are prohibited from using misleading communications, requiring the consumers to have transparency, requiring their consent, and require the data to be secure. Now, before we move on to the second one, I just want everyone to stay silent in 3, 2, 1. That is the sound that AI sentiment analysis regulation makes. Completely nothing. Because the acts that I have showed you only stress on the general surface level for AI and the general surface level for retailers. Now, if we don't have anything to base off of, what can we expect? Then we have these ethical expectations. Number one, transparency and clarity. Number two, informed consent, accountability, data protection and privacy, bias prevention, and responsible use. Now we move on to the core of our research, the consumer guidelines. Number one, transparency, where consumers reserve the right to know, reserve the right to understand, and clarity to what they are being exposed to. When registering, they could say that we use AI sentiment to understand customer feedback and personalized offers. When using it, there is a badge that pops up saying, oh, this AI is doing this AI is doing that. The consumer knows what the AI is doing, thus that can build consumer trust. Now, before I go on, yes, I'd like to take that question.
You said that AI sentiment analysis tracks public data. So how does this cause privacy concerns?
I'm sorry, could you clarify?
You said before in your presentation that AI sentiment analysis, they use public data that is publicly available. So how is it a privacy concern?
It is quite a privacy concern because it actually takes our personal data, such as the presentation from these two teams. It bases off of ethnicity and location. That is personal data. It doesn't just take from public reviews and from public sources. It's based on the user itself. Now we move on to the second consumer guideline, which is consent. Well, definitely the consumer has to consent to AI when being used. However, we can safeguard this even more. They reserve the right to allow or disallow the AI sentiment analysis at any time without sacrificing convenience on the app. Some people don't like being stopped, as I would say in AI sentiment analysis. They have that sort of anxiety. Now, these people can apply this safeguarding feature. Number three, fair use. Now, AI is to be used responsibly, and the consumers reserve the right to know that these retailers are doing that. AI is to keep that data anonymous and private, protecting it from being abused. Now, the problem with personal data is that we put in every single detail in there. And when using reviews, we put in every single detail that we know of the product. Now, the AI can take the keywords and can take only minimal amount coming from the personal data, where I would like to call minimized data collection. This can refrain from privacy concerns, thus that trust for consumers can live on. Number four, data protection and privacy. Number 5, accountability. Now, retailers are to be held accountable, and it is the right of the consumer whenever AI is doing something wrong. To safeguard this even more, we develop a complete mechanism for each retail product. If you feel that this AI has mislabeled or treated you unfairly, click here to escalate. Now, this can also go ahead and tackle the problem of biasness. Now, we have the right to ask for a human review. That is the surface level, but if you want to take it a step further, we can ask for compensation. And that is where the guideline for the complaint mechanism comes into place. Now, we move on to our conclusion. Panel, in a world of AI, where AI can read your emotions, the power is in our hands. It's in your hands. You reserve the right to be informed, cautious and confident. Retailers, on the other hand, must earn your trust, but never can they program it. AI sentiment analysis truly does have its benefits, but they can't let the faults to continue to thrive. With these consumer guidelines, AI sentiment analysis can be beneficial to everyone. Panel, take this call to action with us. Alas, from Team C. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amai-san, for the constructive points for their proposal. So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. A job well done to all the teams today for bringing unique insights, creativity, and critical thinking to the table in today's grand final of the National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025. But now it's time for the most anticipated section of the discourse, You Have My Interest. The moment when our esteemed panel of experts can ask in-depth questions to challenge, clarify, and explore the proposals further. This is the team's final chance to earn valuable points that could determine the grand champion of NICTSeD 2025, right? Without further ado, I would like to open the session to the questions from any member of our esteemed panel of experts who would like to seek clarification from the teams present today. Kindly note that this section is set to last for 30 minutes. Panel of experts, the stage is now yours.
Thank you. So you guys have our interests, definitely. So we have a very short time, and we do have a number of questions we want to get through. And we will ask questions to all the team, but we will ask one question to Team A, for example. Same question will need to be answered by Team A, B, and C. So all the questions to be fair. First question will go to either Team A or B or C, but you will have the chance to actually give your response. And we do have a number of questions. We want to be very limited in terms of time. We won't give you lots of time. We will try to limit it to 2 minutes per person. So with that, I would like to get a question from our panel of experts. Start with Ishal.
Thank you very much. All right. I think all of you have done very well. You've presented your arguments. But my question is, based on the arguments that you have presented and the issues that you have raised, actually, who do you think should ultimately and eventually take the lead in addressing the challenges that you've discussed earlier? Is it 1, the government, or 2, the online platforms itself, or 3, the consumers who are actually purchasing the products or services? Please also justify your answer. Thank you.
Let's have Team A answer, and then followed by B and C.
Okay, I'd like to answer the question. Okay. Okay, so for the question regarding governments, online platforms, or consumers, well, clearly, everyone has an equal role in addressing the issue. We cannot deny that fact. But the problem is that, it's not exactly a problem. Okay, so we gave practical consumer guidelines for the consumers in Malaysia. So of course, they have 4 roles as well, C, A, R, and E. However, the question was, who should take the lead, right? So that is why we say government. Because of course, we can't deny that in Malaysia, government holds sovereignty. Government holds the biggest power in controlling what humans can do and citizens can do. So, I have mentioned previously in my script regarding MDTCL as well, which is the Ministry of Domestic Rate and Cost of Living. So clearly, if governments can collaborate with online platforms in this situation, which I mentioned regarding terms and conditions, right? Because terms and conditions are very not feasible by the citizens, since it's very long, it's very complex. That is why government, which is MDTCL in this context, can work together with online platforms and tech companies to shorten the terms and conditions, to mandate their terms and conditions, to create user-friendly and no hidden risk terms and conditions for them to easily read this information. That's the thing. But for consumers, we have provided consumer practical guidelines. So that's what I think. But mainly the lead goes to governments, and of course they can collaborate, as I said, with influencers to make this the extreme possible. So everyone plays an equal role, but the government holds the biggest role in this. Thank you very much.
Well, I would also like to answer the question. So the question stated that it was based on our arguments. Who do we think should take the lead? Well, in our opinion, it should be the consumers. Because as our proposal stated, we should take small steps. Change starts small. And we have to remember that AI sentiment analysis is for brands to evaluate what their customers want. So, if bigger companies rely on this, if consumers begin to state their concerns, then they have to listen, because what if it reduces profit? And if we want to talk about the government, why the government has a later role is because it takes time. Time that, as I've said, consumers may not have. And to start change effectively, it has to start with the people first. That is my answer. Thank you.
So I guess we all have different views then. All right, because in our opinion, we actually think that is the online platforms. Now let's take a look at what each side has to offer. Number one, the government, they can offer regulations. Number two, the consumers, they can offer action. But number three is the online platforms, where that is where it's happening directly. The online platform has to have features that protect the consumers. That's where it starts. Now, with the government, it takes a lot of time. It's a hefty process to get out any regulations that can support the impending doom of AI sentiment analysis whenever the risks take over. With online platforms, where these private companies can take action immediately and have an effect on both the government and consumers, this is why we believe that the online platforms should take the lead in controlling AI sentiment analysis. I hope that clarifies it. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. You all did well so far, and I will have the next questions. Again, similarly, Team B can answer first, followed by C and Team A.
Hi, everyone. So just now, my question specifically goes to Team A, Speaker A. Team B and Team C, you also can answer this. The first speaker, you ended by saying, it is not what we see, but it is also what we, It's not what we see, but it is what we feel. You ended your presentation that way. So my question is, can algorithm ever truly understand human sentiment, or is it just a mirror reflecting patterns without emotional depth? All right, thank you.
Hi, can I answer the question now? Okay, so to answer your question, we believe that algorithms can understand human emotions to an extent. Okay, first of all, how does AISA work? AISA works by analyzing text or reviews posted by humans and provides the output in the form of a bar chart or any visual representation. So this is the thing. Can it truly understand human emotions? Well, as I said before, to a certain extent. AI can understand simple human emotions such as happiness, sadness, anger. But AI cannot truly understand human emotions in depth, such as sarcasm, such as more complicated emotions. So here is where we draw the line. We believe that through human intervention, AI can truly be benefited to analyze emotions of humans. Thank you.
I'd like to answer that question, please. Thank you very much. Now, as a simple answer, can AI understand emotions? Of course, no. But to make it more precise, to go on further, it can understand to an extent. Yes, as said by the speaker from Team A, it mirrors other emotions, more simpler ones like happiness, anger, and as such. How does AI work? Now, AI takes on multiple sources and tries to make them into a more general and main idea. That's how it can detect more simpler emotions. Now, how about the more complicated emotions? Well, it cannot. Why? Because each and every single one of us in the audience can feel something like happiness, anger, sadness, but it also depends on the level. We may feel incredibly happy, but even we as humans don't know how to express that. We don't know how to express how sad we are and how angry we are. So to an extent, AI can detect the most simplest emotions, but due to the lack of sources from us as humans, it cannot detect exactly what we want and exactly what our emotion is. I hope that clarifies it. Thank you.
I would also like to answer that question. So, as of right now, no, AI can't truly understand human emotions. But again, that is as of right now. We are in the 21st century, slowly seeing the development and the birth of AI. So, who's to say that they may not in the future? In the interviews we did with Nagendran Perumal in our study, he said that even he was unsure where AI was heading. As of right now, yes, it understands emotions to a certain extent, as everyone has said, because it relies on patterns and behaviors of that person itself. But to say that it will never happen, we can't say that, because a lot of things back in the day were said to not happen. For example, maybe in the 18th century, if someone told you you could communicate with someone in another country, would you believe it? No. But right now, no. But in the future, we just have to wait and see. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have another round of questions as well. Good questions.
Since we have discussed pros and cons, benefits of AI, I just want to hear from all of you on your views on, are we losing our decision-making ability due to AI-powered sentiment analysis? If you agree, explain why. If you don't agree, and explain why.
Maybe we can have team C answer first, followed by B and A. You can take your time first, but you can start answering by the order.
Can I answer that question, yeah? All right, thank you very much. Now, the question reads, are we losing our decision-making ability? As a matter of fact, yes. Now, the thing about AI sentiment analysis is that it recommends us and personalizes our offer. As to, can we still make decisions on whether or not we could buy this product or not? Yes, we still have that decision-making skill. However, when AI sentiment analysis comes into play, we have to understand that there's also the risk of over-reliance and over-personalization. Statistics show that this is a real-world problem. The question says, are we losing that decision-making skill? We say yes. Over-reliance on one thing, over-personalization of the AI on one thing, what does it come to? Nudging, impulse buying. As stated before, I have experiences with this. I'm a victim of that. And let me tell you, that sort of emotion when you really want to buy something, and the AI throws all of these offers at you. Yes, buy this, buy that, you have this chance. This is limited edition. We feel a sense of pressure. We feel that emotion that we will lose this opportunity. Thus, our decision-making ability can erode. We can lose that sort of sense whenever we are low on money and we don't feel the need to buy this thing. So yes, it does lose the ability to make decisions. Thank you.
Can I answer that question? So when you say, are we losing the ability to make decisions? Well, the term "we" is a generalization because everyone is different. We come from various backgrounds and generations. So, for example, us as Gen Z, we will be more aware of the situation of AI sentiment analysis, AI in general in the shopping environment. Whereas in the older generations, they might not be so aware. So again, it's all about the specific people again. It's all about people. And it also depends on what kind of guidelines you follow when you shop online. So if a consumer is aware of these AI sentiment analysis, and we can tie it back to our guidelines that we have presented. If a consumer is able to think rationally, double-check reviews, they are able to make calculated decisions, then no, they will not lose this ability of critical thinking of making decisions. However, people who may be susceptible towards these dangers, yes, they will lose the ability. So again, it all depends on the person. It's various. Thank you.
Okay. I'd like to answer the question. So the question was, are we losing our decision making because of AI? Well, clearly, yes, there's no doubt in that. No matter if you're a child or even an adult, yes, we are losing our decision making because of our over-reliance on AI usage. Why? Okay, let's look at companies first. Nike over-relied on AI to boost their sales, so they used AISA's outputs to redesign their shoes. Even airlines used AISA to actually deal with baggage problems and all of this. So it's not even humans making decision anymore if you look at it. They're asking for AI. Even me, sometimes when I want to make a decision in my life, I would ask AI first. I would ask, is this a practical thing to do? So this clearly shows that we are clearly losing our decision making skills just because we over-rely on AI. Because AI is that, AI is pre-programmed, AI seems to be better than us. But the thing is, yes, we are lacking all of things. That is why human insights is important. Linking this question to today's topic, we still need human insights. We still need human intervention. Because the more we lose the decision making, the more we lose the sense of human itself. That is why this is very important. And the benefits of this AI essay is that it provides personalization, but when we lose decision making, we can lose, as Dave said as well, we lose the ability to decide. And most importantly, we forget that we are humans. My first speaker would like to continue with the answer.
Hi, can I continue? Okay, so when we are talking about we, who does it include? The companies themselves, and of course, we as consumers. So does it affect our decision-making skills as a consumer? I believe yes. We are still using our own decision-making skills even when AI sentiment analysis is being used behind our backs. So because we know AI sentiment analysis is used by companies to push what consumers want, what they need, or to improve their current services. However, the decision of buying a product or service ultimately falls under the consumer. So, for example, people can still see something useful and go, maybe I'll buy that in the future. So, to iterate, the decision to buy something ultimately falls under the decision of the consumer. So decision-making skills still exist, even with AI sentiment analysis. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are very, very, very insightful answers from all of you. Mr. Chairman, do we have more time for another question? Yes, okay.
10 minutes. I think that this is the last question, isn't it? Okay. So, Team B can answer first, and then followed by Team A, and then the last one, Team C. Is it okay? Okay, so my question is, how do you really want the customers to adopt the right values when using AI? Okay. How do you really want the customers to adopt the right values when using AI?
Okay, I would like to answer the question. So, how do we want customers to adopt the right values? So, first of all, what are the right values? So, the right values we want customers to have is to maintain autonomy when using AI. We should always remember that AI is a tool. It's meant to enhance, not replace. So, when using AI, be mindful of your own ideas. Okay, and AI should only be used to check and maybe clarify, but not as a start point to generate ideas. Customers should also be mindful when using it, be mindful that AI can make mistakes. For example, in ChatGPT, if you notice at the bottom, they say ChatGPT may make mistakes. So whenever you use it, always double check those responses. Because you never know, because AI tends to make your ideas what you want it to be. So the right prompt is also very important. So that's what I think is the right values that they should have. Thank you.
Okay, Team A would like to answer the question. Well, the question was, how do you really want the consumers to adopt the right values when using AI? So we have made this into a true strategic point. So I'll be explaining about how consumers should be open-minded, and my first speaker will be answering about how consumers should be aware. So first of all, open-minded. Well, we are humans, and as Rishika mentioned as well, AI is just a tool. We can't over-rely on this tool. We are human, and that is why we should be open-minded to the fact that we are always human and AI is always a tool. We are the creators of the creation AI, and that is why we should be open-minded and not over-rely on these type of tools. Let me just give a very simple example. I think just a few years ago, there was this boy who over-relied on this app called Character AI, and he started sharing all of his emotions to his AI girlfriend. And the more he shared, right, the more he vented out, the more he became connected to this tool. He wasn't open-minded because he thought that was his actual girlfriend. So there came this point that he was too dependent on this tool to seek validation, to the point that one day, when the AI girlfriend wanted to break up with him, he committed suicide. So that is the thing. We should be open-minded. And now my first speaker will be answering on the aware part.
So I'll be continuing my second speaker's answer. So I believe that consumers should be aware when shopping in online retail and physical retail. Because when certain products are pushed forward to hook the consumer, it is the duty for consumers to differentiate what they truly need or it was recommended to boost the sales of the company of the specific company. For example, when shopping in Nike's e-commerce store, perhaps you are looking for a shoe, but the moment you click add into cart, what pops up? Socks. So are you really looking for socks, or is it just another tactic to boost the company's sales? So ladies and gentlemen, I genuinely believe that that consumers should be aware when shopping in online retail and physical retail. Thank you.
I'd like to answer the question. Alright, so the question is, how do you really want consumer to adopt the right value when using AI? Well, the customer needs to use clear communication. They need to speak clearly in giving reviews and everything. So it could actually benefit so they can actually take the right value by using AI. They are not going to be over-reliant of AI, but they are able to understand something and able to brainstorm or anything using AI.
And I'd actually like to add to my first speaker's response. Well, yes, of course, clear communication. We have to make the AI understand us so you can interpret what we want. But however, to summarize what we have also presented is that, number one, we always have to maintain control. Maintain control on what we actually want. Especially when impulse buying is in the picture, we have to understand that that is something very dangerous and thus can burn a hole in our pocket. Now, another thing, like the first speaker from Team A has stated, is awareness. Awareness on when a product is being shown. But number two, on what I also add, is the fact that even though we are running out of time, even though, lazy, quote unquote, we have to read the terms and conditions when using AI sentiment analysis. Risks comes in like data privacy, over-personalization, and bias. Thus, we have to understand how AI works. That is the key to us providing for the retailers to further enhance the consumer's experience. When something is going wrong with the AI, we have to report it. That is also another thing that we as consumers need to know. We can't keep the faults to ourselves. Always file complaints whenever something is wrong. And number three, technically, always search for faults. Now, even if the AI is perfect, we assume that it is perfect. It can always be improved. Improve our own experience when using that AI. Propose ideas. Invent new ideas so you can also make an impact to other people and not just yourself. When we, as one, we can stand together. As the saying goes, one for all for one. United we stand, together we fall. I hope that clarifies that question. Thank you.
Thank you. Could we have more time for the questions? Okay, we probably have another one question as well.
Hello, thank you. I heard very impressive answer, but my question will be, I'm from TikTok Shop, but as a platform provider, we have to balance the business growth with consumer protections, right? In terms of policy recommendations, what would you suggest to ensure AI sentiment analysis is used responsibly in the modern retail? I think I will go by sequence from Team B first, then Team C, and Team A. Yeah.
Since we are running out of time, can we get Team B to answer the question?
Yeah, in that case, in any team's ready, you can just please answer.
I would like to answer the question. So in terms of policy, let's start with the thing that all of us struggle with, the terms and conditions. A lot of platforms have long terms and conditions that a lot of us do not read, and that's an issue because we do not know what kind of data that is being collected. So our suggestion is for them to have maybe informative pop-ups for consumers to read, because we have to remember that consumers range from a lot of ages. So maybe these pop-ups could be interesting and put into simpler words so that consumers understand. And we also think that platforms in their terms of policy should be transparent. Maybe email a summary or have on what the reviews that they collect or what kind of data they collect in general. And they should also maintain ethical, maybe not cross any of those guidelines or anything to do that can cause mistrust amongst the community. Thank you.
All right, yeah, I'll be continuing answering the question. Well, reverting back to what I have just said, just a disclaimer, I'm actually, I don't really regularly use TikTok Shop, but I really do want to see TikTok Shop applying the recommendations that I would like to give. Now, number one, like I said, is develop a complaint mechanism, and when using AI sentiment analysis, they can have the right to ask for a human review. And to take it more simpler is the fact that the feature that I just stated, which is a badge, probably a pop-up where the AI states on what it is doing. Because I myself don't know what the AI is doing at times whenever I'm using the app, even Shopee. Now, with that, it can build consumer trust between the retailer and the consumer. Because if the consumer knows what the AI is doing, then it's fine. It's quite good, because then we can make decisions on whether or not, yes, will let AI do this, or not. We could file a complaint. Now, the third one, like I said, is for consumers to reserve the right whether or not they want AI to be disabled right there and then, and to have it allowed back to whenever they want. To further elaborate, this is where consumers can have a little bit of personal space, where the consumers reserve the right to act how they want on the app, especially with the use of AI sentiment analysis. Because at some point, that AI sentiment analysis can turn faulty. Thus, when it is always in use, it will give out the wrong results. Now, with the consumer having the option to disable it at any time, that can be prevented. So, yes, thank you.
Sorry, okay, I would like to answer the final time. Well, the thing is, Team B and Team C have given us very insightful thoughts on this question as well. So what I would like to suggest today from Team A is that we take Team B's terms and conditions policy recommendation, and we take the complaint mechanism from Team C's recommendation, we put it all together along with our suggestion. That is, we should follow the Cybersecurity Act 2024 and as well as the Consumer Protection Act 1999, which of course includes the provisions of how a consumer should act and how a consumer can report as well. So when we gather three of these insights together, I believe that if we present this as a whole to Cybersecurity Malaysia, we are able to create a better consumer retailism, and we are able to create a better consumerism as well as a better usage of AISA in the modern retail sector. And with that, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much to all the participants and POEs. We've just witnessed the determination of each of the grand finalists to win and to be crowned the grand champion in today's grand final. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a sincere word of thanks to the panel of experts for their interesting and pertinent questions, to all the teams here in the grand final of NICTSeD 2025, as well as a big final round of applause to all presenters from SMJK Jitsin from Pulau Pinang, SMK Tinggi Kluang from Johor, and SM Science Tuanku Syed Putra from Perlis. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of the National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025 Grand Final. Before the results are announced, I would like to invite all members of the panel of experts to proceed to the deliberation room to tabulate their scores, to determine the winners for this session and ultimately our grand champion. Would it be Team A, one of the most experienced team in this competition with a determination to win? Or Team B will continue the legacy of the competition for crowning champion from Team B 2023 SM Sekolah Sri Putri Team D, 2024 Sekolah SMK Alwaka Pahang also Team B. So we see a team from Team B winning the grand champion, or our debutant from Team C, SM Science, Tuanku Syed Putra. So we encourage our viewers to stay tuned to our program as we look forward to revealing the winners of today's discourse later. Once again, I would like to thank everyone for their participation in today's grand final of the National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025. As the chairperson for today, my name is Edwan Muhammad Aidit from Cybersecurity Malaysia. And on behalf of the NICTSeD committee, it has been a privilege to serve all the fantastic teams in this year's competition. I extend my best wishes to our finalists and look forward to seeing everyone again next year. NICTSeD, dare to discourse. Back over to you, Pushpa.
Thank you, Encik Idwan Muhammad Aidit, for your candor and leadership as the chairperson. An outstanding performance from all three teams. Well done. And ladies and gentlemen, we can see through this discourse how AI-powered sentiment analysis is no longer just a futuristic idea, but a real force shaping consumer trust and buying behavior. From guiding us through endless reviews to highlighting the authentic voice of the customer, it has opened new doors in the modern retail sector. Yet, what we have also learned is that technology, no matter how advanced, cannot replace human wisdom. AI can illuminate patterns and point us in the right direction, but the responsibility to think critically and make balanced choices remains ours. So, as practical customers in this digital age, let's embrace AI as a trusted ally, not as the master. Let's use its insights to shop smarter, question deeper, and strengthen our confidence in the brands we choose. In the end, the role of AI-powered sentiment analysis is clear. It's a powerful partner, but the true power lies in us, the consumers, who decide when, how, and why we trust. Ladies and gentlemen, that said, we are now genuinely delighted to once again welcome the St. John's Pipe Band Malaysia, bringing us their vibrant and unforgettable bagpipe performance. Their music never fails to lift the atmosphere, weaving together joy, tradition, and a spirit of togetherness. Let's give a warm round of applause to the St. John's Alumni Pipe Band Malaysia. Thank you, St. John's Alumni Pipe Band Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, join us now as we take you behind the scenes to witness the passion, dedication, and hard work that has gone into the making of NICTSeD 2025. Sit back and enjoy the journey.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to warmly welcome you to the National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025. I hereby declare this discourse for this year's Octo Finals officially in session.
And now we are at the stage where every word, every argument, and every answer can make all the difference.
Excellent job, guys. The winning team will proceed to the semi-final round, and we'll see you in Pulau Pinang in 2 weeks' time.
So we are actually very surprised and grateful for this unexpected opportunity to go to Penang and compete in NICTSeD 2025.
Well, I would say that it's been no easy task, but it's been an experience of a lifetime.
I think it's been a wonderful opportunity to learn about a variety of topics that the NICTSeD team has provided to us.
For about NICTSeD, I learned more how to pitch better and to present better.
So far, I learned a lot about AI, how AI works in our world, and the current digital landscape as well.
The whole experience was like a roller coaster ride. There was our up and down, but we made it here and we hope to get to the next round, which is grand finals.
And we also hope that other team for them to do their best. So the journey is important than the destination, that is.
I wish all the best for other participants. I hope that we can win this competition.
All the best, guys.
Jitsin, Jitsin, and Jitsin.
Tunas, Arik Taufik Aman, Su.
Sai Putra, juara pemila.
SBC reach for the stars. SABS, be the best. Go, 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 Kitty.
SAB,
Excellent. Putraku hebat.
SDK,
Glorious.
Assalamualaikum and good day to all. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you to the National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025 semi-finals.
It can help or harm us, even express emotions. And AI and humans both work together.
Quiz games.
Not looking at just right now, or when the children will acknowledge AI. Something called the AI lessons, 4 pillars.
To assess the children's capability.
Dependence on AI.
Not to believe the child in the 1980s.
Boys are generally more active. Creativity is trapped in the mind. Ensure that this baseline will move compared to child's motor skill growth. So that's how AI can be integrated.
Let us extend our warmest congratulations to all the best presenters and our 3 grand finalists. SMK, SL
Okay. Can we hear it again for Jitsin? Where's Jitsin? SMJK Jitsin? Alright. How about SM Tuanku Syed Putra? Okay. Who's left now? SM? K? Tinggi? Alright. Okay. Wow. Shall we see it again? Who's going to be louder? Yes? No? Yes. Okay. Again, Jitsin. SM Tuanku Syed Putra. Sekolah Menengah Tinggi Keluang, Johor. Alright. Okay, thank you very much. We have 3 different teams, 3 powerful teams with their proposals, well presented, well delivered, well answered questions. Well, excellence is not always being the best. It's doing your best. And we can see that all 3 teams have done your best. Now, we would need a little bit longer to announce who the champion is going to be. So can we just sit back, relax for a while? Is that okay with you? Yes? Okay, just a few more minutes.
Baiklah, itu dia pertandingan National ICT Security Discourse NICTSeD CYBERSAFE Challenge Trophy 2025 yang mana kita menyaksikan 3 kumpulan, 3 finalis dari 3 buah sekolah yang mana sekarang ini kita sedang menantikan keputusan akhir siapakah yang bakal merangkul kejuaraan National ICT Security Discourse NICTSeD CYBERSAFE Challenge Trophy bagi tahun 2025. Kita telah menyaksikan pembentangan jawapan-jawapan yang dilontarkan begitu bernas dan begitu kreatif sekali, di mana kita dapat melihat para peserta diberi pendedahan tentang kaedah penyampaian yang meyakinkan juri atau panel of experts POE dengan fakta dan hujah yang disampaikan berdasarkan kemahiran persembahan mereka. Dan secara keseluruhannya, inisiatif ini diharap dapat melahirkan tenaga kerja profesional yang berintelektual tinggi pada masa hadapan. Sekali lagi, tajuk pembentangan pada hari ini, The Role of AI-Powered Sentiment Analysis in Shaping Consumer Trust and Buying or Purchasing Behavior, a study on its influence in the modern retail sector with practical consumer guidelines. Dan 3 finalis yang berentap di atas pentas akhir sebentar tadi ialah SMK Tinggi Keluang Johor, Sekolah Menengah Sains Tuanku Syed Putra Perlis dan SMJK Jitsin Pulau Pinang. Dan kita sedang menantikan mungkin bila-bila masa dari sekarang keputusan bakal diumumkan. Sekiranya anda telah menonton kita dari awal, antara kelebihan pertandingan ini kepada murid-murid atau peserta dikendaki untuk menguasai kemahiran penyampaian berdasarkan fakta dan maklumat hasil kajian yang dijalankan mengikut topik yang telah pun diberikan seperti yang saya sebutkan tadi. Dan kita dapat melihat murid-murid ini memiliki dan execute kemahiran membangunkan slide pembentangan PowerPoint secara kreatif murid-murid juga dilihat mempunyai keupayaan untuk bekerjasama di dalam sebuah pasukan dan kita dapat lebarkan lagi pengetahuan dalam bidang keselamatan cyber dan teknologi digital semasa, serta kita dapat lihat kemahiran mereka menggunakan peranti pintar semasa pertandingan. Jadi sehubungan dengan itu, para peserta diwajibkan menghadiri bengkel NICTSeD Dare to Discourse yang memberi tumpuan kepada 4 kaedah utama, iaitu kaedah penyediaan slide pembentangan PowerPoint, teknik penyediaan dalam talian berkaitan keselamatan cyber, pendedahan tentang trend dan isu keselamatan cyber terkini dan latihan kemahiran pembentangan. Saya percaya di belakang saya di pentas utama kini berlangsung acara pengumuman siapakah yang bakal menjadi juara dan menerima anugerah-anugerah dalam beberapa kategori. Jadi sama-sama kita saksikan.
Dedication and expertise she has contributed in deliberating on the performances of our finalists this afternoon. Please welcome the Technical Officer for NICTSeD 2025, Puan Sharifah Kasdiana binti Habib Muhammad Kasim. Thank you. And now, distinguished guests, it's time to crown the champion of National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025. With great anticipation and excitement, let's warmly welcome the Program Coordinator of NICTSeD 2025, Puan Ramona Susanti Abdul Hamid.
Dengar ke? Sekejap. Alright. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and a very good afternoon to all. See how nervous I am today? Right. Every team has brought forth brilliant ideas, powerful arguments and inspiring voices. Regardless of the results, all of you are already winners for stepping up to this challenge and daring to discuss an issues that matters to our digital future. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment we have been waiting for has arrived. I have here in my hand is the result, and it is my great honor to announce the winners for NICTSeD 2025. First, the award for Best Slide Deck. This award recognizes the team who is presenting visual best captured clarity, creativity, and impact. And the winner is the winner for the best slide deck goes to SM JKJC.
The recipient receives a certificate, a trophy, and a check worth 500 ringgit.
Congratulations. So for the best presenter, the next award for the best presenter, this goes to the participants who displayed outstanding confidence, clarity, and delivery in their discourse today. And the best presenter is Amar Ihsan bin Izwan, presenter number 2 from Team C.
The best presenter receives a certificate, a trophy, and a check worth 1,000 ringgit.
Now, I would like to announce the second runner-up. I was jumping to the first runner-up just now. So, second runner-up, this team has showed remarkable effort, strong teamwork, and insightful ideas throughout the grand final. And congratulations to our second runner-up, SMK Tinggi Keluang Johor.
The second runner-up receives a certificate each, trophy, and a check worth 1,500 ringgit.
And finally, the moment of truth. I will be announcing the champion of NICTSeD 2025. The champion's title is awarded to the team whose performance, discourse, and impact truly embody the spirit of leadership and cyber resilience. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in congratulating the champion of NICTSeD 2025 from JK Jitsin, Penang.
The champion is receiving a certificate each, the CyberSafe Challenge Trophy, and a check worth 5,000 ringgit. Congratulations to the champions of National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025.
First runner-up, we won't forget you. And therefore, the team that stood out with their excellent arguments, energy, and commitment, our first runner-up for next NICTSeD 2025 is SM Science Tuanku Syed Putra Prelix.
The first runner-up receives a certificate each, a trophy, and a check worth 3,000 ringgit. Congratulations to all our winners, and thank you, Puan Ramona Susanti Abdul Hamid, for taking time to announce all our winners. Can we have a group photo, all the teams on stage, please? All the 3 teams.
Baiklah, itu dia senarai pemenang yang telah pun diumumkan untuk acara National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025 yang mana Johan menerima wang tunai RM5,000 plat dan sijil jatuh kepada SMJK Jitsin Pulau Pinang. Naib Johan yang menerima wang tunai RM3,000 plat dan sijil pergi kepada Sekolah Menengah Sains Tuanku Said Putra Perlis, dan tempat ketiga menerima wang tunai RM1,500 beserta plak dan sijil SMK Tinggi Keluang Johor, yang mana ada lagi 2 kategori telah pun disampaikan juga. Penyampai terbaik menerima wang tunai RM1,000 plak dan sijil jatuh kepada adik Amar Ihsan Izwan dari Sekolah Menengah Sains Tuanku Said Putra Perlis, serta slide pembentangan terbaik juga jatuh kepada SMJK Jitsin Pulau Pinang, yang mana mereka menerima wang tunai RM500 plak dan juga sijil. Satu acara yang saya kira perlu diberi perhatian kerana ianya telah menjadi acara tahunan, dan getting to the final stage was not easy, but our finalists today have shown great spirit, creativity and brilliant ideas in their presentations for their respective schools, and we hope that today's event will spark interest among other students to participate in this competition in the future. Once again, we at TV KPM would like to congratulate the champion of the National ICT Security Discourse CyberSafe Challenge Trophy 2025, and congratulations to the other 2 finalists who also provided great competition. My duty here today is complete. We will return to my colleague in the studio, Asri Badrun. My name is Nisa K. Thank you, and I'll see you guys again. Thank you so much, everybody.
We now invite you to proceed to the refreshment area where our ushers will be pleased to
Terima kasih. Terima kasih Nisa di lokasi yang berletak langsung dari Auditorium BSTP Bukit Kiara Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia. Sekali lagi kami di Didik TV KPM mengucapkan tahniah kepada para pemenang, dan kejayaan anda bukan setakat kejayaan, dan ini memberi ruang kepada mereka untuk terus melontarkan suara generasi mereka. Dan setakat itu saja kami bawakan daripada hari ini, dan untuk maklumat anda yang pemenang pada hari ini SMK dari SMJK Jitsin mengulangi sejarah pada tahun 2018, dan pada tahun ini sejarah kembali diulangi SMJK Jitsin Pulau Pinang. Dan sekali lagi tahniah diucapkan kepada mereka, dan buat anda sekalian di luar sana masih ada peluang pada masa yang akan datang. Saya rasa setakat itu saja saya bawakan dari Didik TV KPM dari program khas. Saya Asri Badrun. Kita bertemu lagi di masa akan datang, dan sebenarnya lebih banyak lagi pertandingan yang kami buka kepada anda. Dan kalau kita lihat lebih kurang daripada tahun 2013, Sekolah Menengah Agama Persekutuan Kajang Selangor, dan kita mengharapkan lebih banyak lagi penyertaan pada tahun hadapan. Dan sekali lagi terima kasih diucapkan kepada semua kaki tangan yang sudah pun menjayakan National ICT Security Discourse 2025 CyberSafe Challenge Trophy. Dan saya rasa itu saja kami bawakan pada hari ini. Dan di sana, di lokasi saya dapat lihat masih lagi sedang menyampaikan hadiah. Masing-masing sedang menyambut gembira kemenangan yang sudah pun diraih. Dan insya-Allah di masa akan datang sekali lagi kami di Didik TV KPM membawakan anda lebih banyak lagi kesedaran tentang pentingnya cyber security di Malaysia. Tapi melalui kejayaan-kejayaan mereka ini daripada sekolah menengah lagi. Kesedaran itu dibawa daripada peringkat umbi kepada peringkat internasional. Mungkin pada suatu masa akan datang. Jadi suara-suara anda inilah generasi anda yang memberi kelantangan kepada mereka ini, khususnya pihak berkuasa, untuk memberi satu keputusan yang mungkin memberi manfaat kepada semua lapisan masyarakat. Dan daripada NICTSeD 2025 dan ini sedikit sebanyak daripada BTS, iaitu behind the scene, di balik tabir apa yang sedang berlangsung sebelum ini yang difahamkan sudah dijalankan sejak April lalu dan sehingga kini banyak peringkat sudah pun berlangsung daripada peringkat kawasan, daerah, negeri sehinggalah peringkat kebangsaan dan diharapkan ada lagi pertandingan-pertandingan seperti ini akan berlangsung seperti mana kita memberi manfaat kepada mereka di luar sana tentang penggunaan digital yang lebih baik dan pastinya untuk anda di luar sana generasi-generasi seperti inilah yang akan menjadi wakil kepada suara mereka yang bakal menjulang ataupun memberi semangat kepada mereka tentang pentingnya cyber security di Malaysia. Dan saya rasa itu saja dapat kami bawakan di Didik TV KPM sehingga kita bertemu lagi di masa akan datang. Saya Asri Badrun. Assalamualaikum, salam hormat, salam Malaysia Madani.
KPM